This is going to be for Louisa and anybody else interested in Squijoo. Louisa had asked about using Squijoo. I think that's how you say it. I've honestly never had to say it out loud before, only in my head. So hopefully I'm saying that correctly. But this is going to be about how to use the Squijoo templates in Photoshop. If you are not a Photoshop user, I know a little bit of Photoshop, but I'm primarily a Lightroom user. So there was a little bit of learning curve for me for the Squijoo templates, but I swear it's super easy and it's just like a couple of quick steps. So that's why when Louisa asked, I was like, sure, let me just show you, because it's a lot easier to show than explain. So I am going to start out in my external hard drive, which is just untitled on my computer. I should probably title that. But anyway, so this is just everything on my external hard drive right now in different folders, and I am going to try to remember what the folder is called. Facebook templates, I called it. It's obviously, there's other things that I've downloaded than just Facebook templates from Squijoo, but it's just an easy way for me to remember it because I mostly use this for Facebook marketing. So then you can just choose whichever you like. So I'm going to just choose an Easter one just as an example. So it'll show you an example. If you want to see it, you can open the JPEG and it'll just show you like what the ad will look like at the end with somebody else's picture, obviously. And then you can open the .psd file, which is your Photoshop template. And now you have it open in Photoshop. So on the right-hand side here are all the different layers that they've put in this template for you. The T is obviously a text layer. If you double-click, if you just like single-click on any of them, you'll be able to move them. If you double-click on the T, it'll highlight the text on the screen for you, and you can replace it. So this is asking for email. So I can type in my business email. And you can also change up here the size of it and stuff. Like I find them to be a little bit, whoops, that's huge. But I find them to be a little bit small sometimes coming off of Squijoo, for my taste at least. I totally understand that they're trying to like put the highlight on the picture and the title and stuff. But as a consumer, I like to be able to find the contact information and the information that I'm looking for out of an ad. And it's frustrating to me if it's like so fine print that I just can't read it. Then I get frustrated and that makes me not want to work with that person. So anyway, you can play with the sizing however you like it, but I find that sometimes their font sizes are really small. Oh, the other thing is you'll notice when I click on some of these and I go to edit it, that it will actually change the font, or it'll tell me it's going to resolve it by finding like a similar font. There is a way you can just like go online and download the font that they are using in the template. And I think Squijoo tells you what font they're using on their website or whatever, but I usually just either use the similar font they're using, or I just pick a font that I like out of the fonts that I have that I either are default fonts for Photoshop or I've downloaded from dafont.com, mostly because I'm lazy. So I usually like to do ads in like 5 seconds, and I don't like to go find the fonts that they're using and download them. But if there's one that's like really nice and you're wed to it, you can go find it and download it. But yeah, in case you were wondering about how Photoshop deals with that. So then I usually never edit the word art portion of it, which is like this big Easter, just because I'm not going to have that font and I like the way it looks all swirly and whatever. So I try to leave those alone. So when I'm done editing all my font to make it my brand, and the other thing is they put a spot always for the name of your photography business or whatever. Like mine is Sweetest Things Photography, if you've seen my posts and stuff. But again, I like it a little bigger because to me it's just really hard to read it when it's like 4-point font or whatever. But anyway, the other thing, sometimes I just not delete this layer, but I just hide it by hitting the eyeball so you can't see it in the final product. And I'll just stamp my watermark on the picture somewhere. On this one, I probably would leave it on there just because I think the watermark would look awkward right at the top. But sometimes I can just like discreetly fit the watermark down at the bottom or something like under this text, and it's just my actual, like, my watermark is not just text, it's like a logo. So for recognizability, I like to have that on there if it fits in the ad well. On this one, I would probably just leave it like this. And then the other thing I was talking about, if they don't have the font, but sometimes even if I did have the font or whatever, I might change the font because I, for instance, often use the typewriter font, American Typewriter or whatever, in my stuff. And so I'll change it sometimes just to make it American Typewriter so that my ads look cohesive with each other. So that's another thing. I talk a lot, so this is going to be a really slow video, but I swear you can do this ad in like 3 seconds. I just talk a lot, so sorry about that. But anyway, okay, so now I've selected the picture mask layer down here, and if it's a collage that features several pictures, there'll be several of these already partitioned off in the template for you. So when I do this one, there's going to be a step that I probably don't need to do necessarily for this because it's only one picture, so it's just going to fit in the confines of the ad anyway. But if you had several pictures, you'd want to do this step at the end that I'm going to show you, so I'm just going to do it so you can see. But this ad only has one picture. But you would have several of them over here if you had them. And then they have an overlay on it that's shaded down here, like darker. So you'll see when I put the picture in what that looks like. And if you didn't like the shading for some reason, again, you can just hide that overlay, and then you won't have it on your picture. So go to the picture mask, go to File, Place Embedded, and then you're going to find the picture that you want to use. So I haven't taken any Easter pictures for my Easter minis. Actually, I somehow managed to market them with only like teaser pictures of the backgrounds and adorable pictures of live baby chicks. And they're already sold out. So now I'm just feeling lazy and not like I want to go out of my way to find like model call kids to take promo pictures with because they're just already sold out. But if you had that, you could put them in here, obviously. I am going to just use sorry, I lose my train of thought also when I'm talking. I'm just going to use a different picture. I'm trying to pick one I want on it because I don't have an Easter picture to put on it. So whatever. So I'm just going to find one that I like. Again, I'm a little all over the place sometimes, so sorry about that. I am going to use this one of this little girl and mom. So yeah, okay. So this is my picture now, and as you can see, it's a square ad, and I picked a portrait style picture, so it doesn't fill it all the way. So what I'm going to do is hit Shift and drag my picture to make it bigger. Shift holds the proportions so that my people don't get all wonky and not human looking. Like those mirrors that you can go to at the carnival where you're like short and fat all of a sudden or oddly long and skinny. That's what would happen if you didn't hold Shift. So definitely hold Shift. And I'm just going to drag it down to where I am happy with it. Honestly, I wish the T was not in her mouth, but this might not be the ideal picture for this, but to save time on this tutorial, I'm going to just keep it. So, and you can move, I think I can move the word art, so I can try that in a minute too. I probably won't just to save time, but I could try just scooting all of these down, scooting down the email, the what it includes, mini sessions, and the Easter all down a little bit so that it would just come out of her mouth a little bit. But I don't want to scoot her picture up too much because I'm going to end up cutting off the top of their heads and it just looks funky, and I want the flower crown in there. So this may just not be the right picture, but whatever. So I'm going to put it in anyway. So when I like it about, which this isn't set in stone, so you can always adjust it a little bit, but when I'm pretty happy with where it is, and it's covering the edges, I'm going to hit enter. And then as you can see with this picture, it actually, because again, I was saying it's just one picture, it's going to cut off the excess and keep it in the confines of the ad, of the size document that I've created in Photoshop. Well, not I've created, but the template already was, I should say. But I'm going to show you just for the sake of doing this with templates that include more than one photo, or where they're like in a shape or something, like in a circle or whatever shape for the picture, you're going to want to come up to layer and then just click create clipping mask, which you can also do this shortcut, but I will never remember that shortcut. Some people are shortcut people, and I know like copy and paste shortcuts, but I never remember these ones that have like 3. It's Command Option G, but yeah, I don't remember that. So anyway, I just go to layer, create clipping mask, and what that would do is it would just clip the picture to fit the shape and size of the shape picture mask that they have put in their template. So if you had multiple little pictures with like partitions between them, when you put the picture in, you'll see that it isn't fitting inside the frame, and you'll be like, oh, that doesn't look very good. But put it where you think it's centered in that frame, and then go to layer, create clipping mask, and it will clip the edges down so that it's cropped into the frame that it's supposed to fit in, even if it's a circle or a different shape or whatever. And then last thing, like I was showing you, I have the overlay mask down here, so I'm just going to take a look at it and see. Like for me, I might leave the overlay mask off for this one because I think it's making it look like a little moodier than I want it for this picture, but it's totally up to you. So they are customizable in that way. You can hide whatever you don't want or change whatever you don't want. And just for the sake of it, let's see if the word art is movable. So I'm going to click on the word art layer. And yeah, I can move it up and down. I'm using my arrow keys right now, but you can drag and drop it too. So I could move it down a little bit to get it out of her mouth, which I would probably want to move, obviously, mini sessions down a little bit too, so that it's not running into the other text, but that's what I would do, so it's not in her mouth. So anyway, now you'll notice that my font's cream and this girl's sweater's cream, so now you can't read anything. Again, this just may not be the ideal image for this ad, but I'm not going to change it in this because it's just a template, just a tutorial. But sometimes I like try a picture and I'm just like, nope, and then I just pick a different picture. So yeah, it's a little trial and error. But anyway, in the end, you're going to come up here and do, which I don't like flatten the layers or anything. I don't know because it's a template if you need to do that or if they already did that. So Photoshop Pro might be able to weigh in on it. I've never personally had a problem with it. You can go to File, Save As, and save the Photoshop document. And I would just usually put like an E in front of it for edited. So I know that this is one I've already like done this ad, or edit one or something. That's if you just want to go back and like fix something later in it. If it's a one-time ad and you don't think you're going to need to do anything to it, which honestly I don't normally save them because they're just like a one-time holiday ad or something, and I'm lazy. You can just export it, and I usually quick export because my stuff is our settings already in there, but you can, I don't know why it did save as again. But you can go to export as, and it will give you more options. Oh, here we go. So anyway, this is just going to export it as a JPEG, and I can export it wherever I want on my computer. And then you'll have this as a JPEG to upload to Facebook, or I don't put minis and stuff on my website usually because, again, lazy. I just put them on Facebook and in my insiders group. But you could put it on your website temporarily, put it on Facebook, share it on your personal Facebook. You could have them printed if you wanted to distribute them at local businesses and stuff that might advertise for you, or give them out to people. Yeah. So anyway, and this is good for all of the templates that Squijoo uses. All work this same exact way, whether it's a price sheet, it's a like mini accordion template to actually make a product, it's an ad like this for Facebook, whatever. So hopefully this helps. So, yeah, that's all. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry if this was super boring and long. I just talk and talk and talk and talk, but hopefully it helped. Thanks. Bye.